Hi, my name is Nicole, and this is the CK Diary Podcast. Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It is so good to see you. I know it's been a couple of weeks. This is my first podcast of the year, and I have so much to share with you. I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday break, Christmas, New Year's, any other holidays you celebrate. We had a really great time. My husband was off for the last 2 weeks. Today's his last day. Today's Sunday, and it's kind of a bummer, but we had so much fun. We did a lot of day trips. We went and looked at a lot of Christmas lights, did a lot of Christmassy things. And now it is back to normal life. I have quite a bit to share with you today. I'm just going to talk about kind of like my whips that I have left over that I'm bringing into the new year. And loosely what some of my plans are. First, I'll tell you guys, this is my Wayfarer sweater that I finished. I don't know how to really show you all that well on camera. This is the sweater that I finished for my husband. I told him I was going to wear it today for the podcast so you guys could see it. I love how it turned out. I think I did the size 6. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what it was. And then I did the one with the shorter rib on the bottom because it's a sweater for my husband. If I had done it for me, I probably would have done the wider rib. Now for my whips going into the new year, I have 6 small whips. I have 2 blankets, and then I have 1 long-term whip. It's my son's blanket. My son's, you might be able to see it behind me there on that shelf, the granny squares for their travel blanket that I'm doing. Now for the small whips, I actually did add on 1 whip today, and I'll talk more about that too. So let's see, where do I want to start? I guess I'll start with the blanket whips. So my 2 blanket whips, the one is the temperature blanket for my mother-in-law, and then the other, it's right here. The other is my Coziest Memories blanket. So I'm just using a bunch of different minis that I got and then some scrap yarn. And right now I think I'm going to do a 10 by 10, like 10 squares long, 10 squares wide. And right now I'm on my 3rd row and I'm on my 5th square in that 3rd row. I don't remember the last time I showed it to you guys. It may have been on this teal square or this pink square here. I don't know if I've shown you any of the 3rd row yet. I am happy with how it's coming out. It is very scrappy. All right. And then, the other things that I have, this is my biggest small whip. I've got my Sophie scarf that I'm making for myself. I started this a long time ago. This is with the BFL yarn. I'm not really in a rush to finish this. I'm just kind of working on this in between projects. Like if I don't have a vanilla project to take with me somewhere, I've been grabbing this. But I've been working on that Coziest Memories blanket a lot lately. And I'm really trying to get that finished up. I have this whip that I'm carrying into the new year with me. This is the gnome home that I'm making. I've finished a few different little projects here and there over the break. I haven't done a podcast since the end of November. And throughout December, I got a lot of Christmas presents done. I made a scarf for my brother's girlfriend. I made a hat for my brother, or a beanie. I did a washcloth for my dad. I shared a lot of that throughout the Vlogmas, if you care to go see that stuff. But I also started the gnome stuff. I didn't bring any of it with me. Maybe I should have. But I made my sons a gnome, and then I made them a little quilt for the gnome. And I have a few different little projects that I'm going to do for their little gnome village that I'm making for them. And I'm trying to think of the other projects that I'm bringing into the new year. So I've got the 2 blankets, which are the temperature and the Coziest Memories. I've got the 6 little projects, so I just showed you a couple of them. My Sophie scarf, the cottage for the gnome. I have a pair of socks that I'm making for myself. Trying to think of what else is back there. Let me grab them really quick. All right. Oh, well, I guess I really only have 5 whips that I'm bringing into the new year, because this was one that I counted as a whip I'm bringing in, and this is just a square for my son's traveling blankets that I'm making. Let's see what this one is. I don't even remember what they are, and I just looked at them the other day. This is a beanie I was making for one of my son's friends. Almost done with that. So they're quick projects. I mean, even the Sophie scarf. The Sophie scarf is the biggest project of the small whips, and even that doesn't take too long. I could finish that in a week if it was the only thing I worked on. Oh yeah, and then this last one is I talked about it on the Vlogmas. It is the dishcloth bridges, where you make 2 dishcloths, and then with these little holes on the border of the dishcloth, you tie them together with a ribbon and make them look like little pants. All right. So that is it for my little whips and my blanket whips and the long-term whip. Now for the whip that I started today, started in the new year, is a pair of socks. Oh, hold on. This is my sock whip. I had to put it on waste yarn because I needed the needles from this. I don't know. I have 2 pairs of circulars for magic loop socks. And then I have 1 pair of 9-inch circulars, and I have no idea where one of the magic loop circulars went and where the 9-inch circulars went. I have no idea where they went. And I've been kind of bummed out today because I have my little teal bag with the white envelopes with the pink hearts all over it. I don't know. I think that was from, I can't remember her name right now. It's like Cat and Birdie or something like that. I bought it from the Bees Knits in Knoxville, Tennessee. Cute project bag, and I know that's where the 9-inch circulars are. I know that's where they are, but I can't find the bag anywhere. I don't know what happened. I do know that I was taking them to story time with me, so I'm really hoping that it's not just randomly in like a lost and found in our neighborhood somewhere. Now this is the whip that I cast on today. It is just a pair of socks. I'm doing 72 stitches on 2.5 millimeter needles, and I'm doing magic loop. This is just the vanilla sock pattern by Crazy Sock Lady. But that is all for whips. And I don't have any finished projects yet this year. Sorry about that. I just noticed that my camera has like slightly been moving up this whole time. But anyway, so that is all for my whips. I do not have any hard set plans right now. I can tell you that next year, I would really like to not have whips bringing into the new year. There are so many things that I'd like to work on now that I can't work on because I have so many whips and my brain just can't like function having so many. I'm wanting to just clear them off the needles. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I went through and organized all of my yarn and all of my whips and took quite a few off the needles. I think I took 3 or 4 off the needles and rewound the yarn, put the yarn away. I organized all my yarn. And I am just kind of wanting a clean slate. So my first priorities are finishing the Coziest Memories blanket, finishing the temperature blanket, finishing those socks that I just showed you, the blue ones. And then I'm going to knock them off one at a time. And I'd really like to not start any new projects until I finish these ones. I do have one other project that I am going to start. My friend called me yesterday or the day before and told me we had talked for a while about making something for her, a sweater, a poncho, something she could wear. We've talked about it for quite some time. I can't tell if the camera's moving again. I'm sorry, I'll have that figured out next week. But we've talked about it for quite some time, and she found some yarn that she liked. She found a pattern that she liked. And so I'm going to go ahead and cast that on as soon as I get the yarn, and I'm really excited about working on that. It is the Coming Home Poncho. I think it's by Lion Brand, or it's at least on their website. And then we got the Malabrigo. She bought the yarn, and it's coming in next week, I think, or at the end of this coming week. It is the Malabrigo Chunky yarn, and I think the colorway is Arco Iris. It's really pretty. I'm really excited to work on it. And that is it for whips and plans and stuff. There are so many things that I want to make, but I really want to get these projects done first so that I only have 1 or 2 projects on the needles at a time. I really like having a project that I have to sit down and like look at a pattern, or at the very least like really pay attention to, like something I have to count, or something of that nature. And then I like having a vanilla project that I can just bring in the car and work on while we're watching movies, things like that. So maybe having 2 projects, maybe even 3, like having a large vanilla project and a small vanilla project, like a pair of socks and a blanket or something like that. I've got you can see it back here, my Chelsea Yarns Advent. And I think I'm going to do the anthology. Is that what it's called? Anthology throw? I think that's what it's called. I think that's what I'm going to make with that. But as far as any big plans go, like wearables for myself or for my children or my husband, I'm not going to worry about that until I finish these few projects that really shouldn't take me all that much time. If I only work on these and I don't cast anything else on, I should have them done by summer. And then I can spend the summer working on things for winter, Christmas gifts, wearables, things of that nature. I don't think I have any acquisitions to show you that I didn't show you during Vlogmas. I did start, my husband got me a few little things for my watercolor painting. Oh, I guess I should mention this too. As you can see, I have changed up my setup quite a bit. I went ahead, my husband got me a light so that I can record away from my windows and so that I can take like nice pictures that are well lit. And so I wanted to move my stuff around so you can see some of the things behind me now that I don't rely on the natural lighting for my lighting. So these are some of the watercolor things that I got. This is from, I think it's Busy Hand Studio Creations, maybe. Busy Hand Studio on Etsy. But it's just a palette, a water cup, a little water mixer bowl, and then a paintbrush rest. So I was watching the Chelsea Yarns Vlogmas, and I watched it last year, and while I was watching it, I was like, man, I love her watercolor painting. I think that would be so fun, but I didn't dive into it because I was just starting out knitting. I didn't start knitting until the end of December last year. It was like around December 21st, and so I didn't want to take on too many new hobbies at one time, and I got really into knitting, still really into knitting, and that just kind of like took over any hobby time I would have had this last year. But then I watched her podcast again and saw all of the watercolor stuff, and I was like, all right, I have to get a couple of things. So I did, or I made a wish list, and I wasn't planning on buying anything yet because I have so many projects in the works right now. And so I made a little Etsy wish list of some of the things that I wanted, some paints, the palette, some paintbrushes. And my husband surprised me and got a few of the things for me. When these came in the mail, he told me that I should go pick up the mail, and he only does that whenever he has something in the mail for me. So I got really excited. And so I went and picked up this package. And then whenever I got home and opened it, he told me there were a couple more things coming, but they just haven't gotten here yet. So I'm excited. He said that there are brushes and there's paint. So I'm excited for that. But really, that is it. I hope you guys had a great start to your new year. I look forward to talking to you guys again next week, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.